Yai da da da. And so now, because it is actually daylight and we have limited space out here, we're asking you, rather than us kindling the candles, to kindle the light that is actually within you. So let us look at the reading on the top of page 9. We are meant to be that light that we need in the world. And let us connect during these final days of the Yamim Noraim to that light that is within us, and to make it illumine all the world and elevate and uplift. The human spirit together is the lamp of God, searching out what lies within us. Guided by the flame of conscience, on this sacred night we search for truth. Emet, shine your light upon us as we strive to serve you. May we find safety in your faithful love. We light the flame within our own being of healing and forgiveness. On this atonement night, we give thanks for love. And then you will see there that we actually have the Shehachianu on the bottom of the page. Barak atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehachianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Together, the English source of blessing, eternal our God. You fill the universe with majestic might, giving us life, upholding the life within us, and bringing us to this time. And now, if you will turn to page 14 in your books, we are going to prepare for Seder Kol Nidrei. So we're going to do this reading together. You can stay seated because we're not going to uncover the Torah as our magnificent Ruslan and our magnificent Dan Spector are doing, along with our musicians, are doing the Kol Nidrei, the first one. And then you want to really pay attention because the second one, we normally do it 3 times, is the one where we'll all rise if you're able to, and we will recite the actual text. So, Yom Kippur, page 14, the Jewish people's festival of the soul, and Kol Nidrei, its sacred portal, a night of deep emotions, a night, as the psalmist wrote, to rejoice with trembling. We rejoice at the sound of Kol Nidrei, rhythmic words of release from vows, oaths, and promises to God which we have failed to keep. We tremble at the melody, music of spiritual amazement to fill us with awe as we stand before God and Torah. We rejoice that we are together, strengthened by community in this hour of shared weakness and humility. We tremble, for tonight we confess our flaws, we admit our imperfection, and we acknowledge a power far beyond our understanding. We rejoice that we commit ourselves to great endeavors because we feel so deeply and we think so nobly. We tremble, for we find that our ideals are far greater than our actual ability, and our promises surpass our might. We rejoice in the freedom that is Kol Nidrei's true gift, the freedom to begin a new year without fear of failure, to aspire to be God's image in the world. We tremble because we are mortal. We rejoice in our gratitude for life. We rejoice with trembling, and we enter Kol Nidrei to face our humanity. Kol Nidrei. And now, if you're able to, please rise. Nidrei ve'esarei ve'charamei ve'konamei ve'chinuyei ve'kinusei u'shavut Yom Kippurim zeh Yom Kippurim Shavitin Betelin Umevutalin La Sharirin Vela Kayamin Please be seated. Now, if you'll turn in your Machzorim to the reading on page 18. Kol Nidrei, all vows, resolves, and commitments, together vows of abstinence and terms of obligation, sworn promises and oaths of dedication that we promise and swear to God and take upon ourselves from this day of atonement until next day of atonement. May it find us well. We regret them, and for all of them we repent. Let all of them be discarded and forgiven, abolished and undone. They are not valid and they are not binding. Our vows shall not be vows. Our resolves shall not be resolves. And our oaths, they shall not be oaths. And so together on the top of page 19. Let our speech be pure and our promises sincere. Let our spoken words, every vow and every oath be honest and well-intentioned. Let our words cause no pain, bring no harm, and never lead to shame, distrust, or fear. And if after honest effort we are unable to fulfill a promise, a vow, or an oath, may we be released from its obligation and forgiven for our failure. Let our speech be pure and our promises sincere. And now I'll leave the Torah covered, but please rise for the Baraku, which can be found on page 22. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Please be seated. Chant your supplications to God in a melody that makes the heart weep, and your praises of God in one that will make it sing. Thus you will be filled with love and joy for the one who sees the heart. And now if you'll turn to page 28. We'll read together. You are my witnesses, says Adonai. God is the first, God is the last. There is no God but Adonai. Testify for me, says Adonai, in your love for me. Teach your children, embracing Torah now and forever. We accept God's sovereignty and reverence, treating others with love, studying Torah. May this be our will as we witness. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Listen, Yisrael, Adonai is our God. Adonai is one. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. If you would like to be seated, to connect to the divine within you and surrounding us at this time on this sacred night, please stay seated, or if you'd like to rise and stand, whatever is the easiest way for you to make the connection. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Adonai Echad. Adonai Echad. Please be seated. And the Ve'ahavta can be found on the next page. So we call to God when we pass that love for Judaism down Lador Vador from generation to generation. Please make sure that we're calling God with our souls. Make sure all your cell phones are turned off. And know that we are together manifesting energy that truly radiates out to elevate all the world. The Ve'ahavta on page 30. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadevarim ha'eleh asher anochi metzavecha hayom halevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha v'veitecha uvelechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukishartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkaru va'asitem et kol mitzotai v'yetem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeitiechem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Emet. Adonai, your God is true. And now if you'll turn to page 38. Let us read on the bottom. Emet ve'emunah kol zot, together truth and faith. These are fundamental to our existence. God alone is their source, and we are Yisrael, a people of God. Our sovereign saves us from tyranny, redeems us from its violence through countless wonders, from its brutality through great feats beyond measure. We are Yisrael, a people of God, the giver of life, who would not let our feet give way, the maker of miracles for us against Pharaoh, of signs and portents in the land of Egypt, the one who brought our people Yisrael from its midst to enduring freedom. And the Michamocha is on page 40. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, l'orot tehilot osef eleh, malechutecha rabu v'necha, b'kei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'eli anu ve'ameru Adonai Le'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar kifad Adonai et Yaakov ugalo michazak mimenu baruch atah Adonai gal Yisrael. You know what to do. I'm proud of you. Page 45. And now here we have our Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkadav yikdash me Rabbi ve'alma divrach yirutei ve'emlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayelecho beit Yisrael v'gala v'gala v'vizman kadri v'mera Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam lo me'amaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudashah b'richu leila ul'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imero. Amen. And our Amidah, our standing prayer, you can find it on page 46, and we'll continue for the next few pages. And let us read first the English. Have mercy upon me, O God, as befits your faithfulness. In keeping with your abundant compassion, blot out my transgressions, wash me thoroughly of my iniquity, and purify me of my sin. For I recognize my transgressions and am ever conscious of my sin. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Hastei Avot V'Imahot, V'Mevi Geulah Livnei V'Nehem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Zochreinu L'chaim, Melech Hafetz B'Chaim, V'chot Veinu B'Sefer HaChaim, Lemancha Elohim Chaim, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורו, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, מי כמוך אל הרחמים, זוכר יצוריו לחיים ברחמים, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. Please be seated and turn to page 71. And together on this night of atonement, grant us, God, a sense of your presence as we call upon your name. Speak your hopeful message to each yearning heart and answer the worthy petitions of each searching soul. Purify and strengthen our noble strivings and cleanse us of all our unworthy desires. Join us together in fellowship and in love, and grant us the joy which comes from enriching others' lives. Help us to be loyal to the heritage that we share. Draw us near to Torah in wisdom and in faith. Strengthen our devotion to our people everywhere. Keep alive our faith in righteousness and truth. Bless us with hopes to uplift our daily lives and keep steadfast our courage and our resolve at all times. On this night of atonement, help us, God, to be worthy of your presence as we call upon your name. And let us once more, it's like a rerun in the Torah, a double portion. Let us read that, bless us, because this is so important at this time. Bless us with hopes to uplift our daily lives and keep steadfast our courage and our resolve at all times. And so now if you'll turn to page 72, the very next page, we have a love song between us and Adonai, Ritzei. Let's read the English together before we sing it. Eternal our God, your people Yisrael yearns for your favor. Receive their prayer with loving acceptance, and may you always desire your people's worship. Divine One, close to all who call upon you, bring your grace and your presence near to those who serve you. Pour forth your Spirit upon us, and may our eyes see your merciful return to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai hamachazir shechinato letzion. Blessed are you whose divine presence is felt again in Zion. Ritzei. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu Be'amecha Yisrael U'tefilatam Be'ava Tekavel And now, if you'll turn to page 78. Here we have Shalom Rav, where we ask for Rav, an abundant Shalom, peace, to be placed upon us all, Yerushalayim, all the world. Let us read together on the bottom of page 79, and then we'll have the prayer. Eternal source and soul of peace, send your peace into the midst of Am Yisrael, your people. Let it heal our rifts and soothe the bitterness of intolerance. Let it overcome distrust, isolation, and rivalry. May your peace flow in every stream of Judaism, and may it inspire solidarity, uniting us as one people. Let peace grow and increase, and let it shape the lives of all human beings. Let there be nothing but peace. No hatred or jealousy, no victories that bring suffering and loss to people and nations. Only love and peace, strong, profound, and true. We yearn for love that knits us together. We yearn for the wisdom of community, shared knowledge, empathy, and trust. May the words that we speak and the meditations of our hearts open pathways of truth and understanding. And we could not yearn for it any more than we do at this time during our pandemic. So may there be peace in our souls and our hearts and our beings and throughout our country and our world. Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata hu melech ador lecho shalom. Ki ata hu melech ador lecho shalom. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov v'necha levarech et amcha Yisrael v'chol heit v'chol shah Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. And now if you'll turn to page 82. Now we begin our vidui, our confession, and we will start with the reading and then we will sing a shamnu. So please rise if you're able to. Together the English. Our God and God of all generations, may our prayers reach your presence, and when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, we have stumbled and strayed. We have done wrong. On the bottom of the page, the actual text of the Ashamnu. Of these wrongs, we are guilty. We betray, we steal, we scorn, we act perversely. We are cruel, we scheme, we are violent, we slander. We devise evil, we lie, we ridicule, we disobey. We abuse, we defy, we corrupt, we commit crimes. We are hostile, we are stubborn, we are immoral. We kill, we spoil, we go astray, and we lead others astray. Ashamnu. Ashamnu, Bagadnu, Gazalnu, Dibarnu Dofi, Hevinu, Behir Shanu, Zadnu, Chamasnu, Tefalnu Sheker. Kishinu Oref. Rashanu. Shichatnu. Tiavnu. Tainu. Titanu. Stay standing if you're able and turn to page 86. Together the English, the ways we have wronged you deliberately and by mistake, and harm we have caused in your world through the words of our mouths. The ways we have wronged you by hardening our hearts, and harm we have caused in your world through careless speech. The ways we have wronged you through lies and deceit, and harm we have caused in your world through gossip and rumor. The ways we have wronged you by judging others unfairly, and harm we have caused in your world through disrespect to parents and teachers. The ways we have wronged you through insincere apologies, and harm we have caused in your world by mistreating a friend or a neighbor. The ways we have wronged you through violence and abuse, and harm we have caused in your world through dishonesty in business. We're going to do slicha. We are now going to do the Ve'al Kulam. Let's read the English, then we'll sing it. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement. Ve'al Kulam. Ve'al Kulam Elah Selichos Selach Lanu V'chalanu Kapelanu Ve'al Kulam Elah Selichos Selach Lanu V'chalanu And now we have our chanting. If you'll turn to page 105. If you need to be seated, but this is a period of time when we are standing. We were not able to chant these 13 attributes of God over Rosh Hashanah because it was Shabbat. So now we do so. We do it 3 times. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum V'Chanun, Erech Apayim, V'Rav Chesed V'Emet, Notzer Chesed La'alafim, Nosei Avon V'Fesha, V'Chata V'Nakeh, Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum V'Chanun, Erech Apayim, V'Rav Chesed V'Emet, Notzer Chesed La'alafim, Nosei Avon V'Fesha, V'Chata V'Nakeh. Last time. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum V'Chanun, Erech Apayim, V'Rav Chesed V'Emet, Notzer Chesed La'alafim, Nosei Avon V'Fesha, V'Chata V'Nakeh. Please be seated. And let's do the reading on page 112. I'll give you a little break before we do Avinu Malkeinu, page 112. Together, Avinu Malkeinu, illumine for us the path of our life. Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we find the strength to take the road less traveled by, or any road at all at this time? Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we come to know the purpose of our existence? Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we learn not to live life in vain? Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we get out of our indifference? Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we distinguish between truth and falsehood? Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we find the answers to our questions? Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we gird ourselves with strength to seek answers? Avinu Malkeinu, be gracious to us, answer us, empower us, and give us courage, for the answers are both in you and with you. And now, if you will please rise, if you are able, as I will uncover the Torah. Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Chavol aleinu, Ve'ol aleinu, V'tarpeinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kal Dever, V'cherem v'rav, Ve'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kalei kol tzar u'mastin, Shema Kolenu. And together, if you're out here, look to the beautiful sky as the sun is setting. Adonai, Avinu Malkeinu is all around us. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu v'Haneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu v'Haneinu, Ki ein banu ma'asim. Asay manu, Asay manu, Asay. Please be seated. In the evening, we are dancing with the dusk, and in the daytime, we are basking in the warmth of the sun. So it's interesting. I tried to keep all of my sermons a little shorter this year, but for some reason, Kol Nidrei ended up being the longest, when we actually are really dealing with being here much longer outside than the sun would allow. Remember when we all used to be afraid that someone would come and shoot us all up? Last year, we were doing everything we could for security, and we were trying to figure out how to reinforce our buildings so that nobody would come shoot us. Now, look, we have our doors open. We worship outside, no less in our parking lot or online in a safe place because of an unseen enemy that threatens to infiltrate us all into non-existence. This is nothing new to us. We have faced adversity, and we have made it back time and again out of the darkness and into the light time and time again. How? Because God is with us, even when feeling him not. And because as a people, we do not let fear overcome us. We don't let fear derail our existence, our lives, and our hope. So we cannot do it now. It would appear that our lives are in shambles, our routine, our normalcy, all that we've come to know and love about life and living is gone. But is it? Dominated and sublimated by Pharaoh, leaders from Rome, Spain, Hitler, the Nazis, and whoever decides that we are just bugs that they can crush, that we are demons or less than human. They don't get to win because we are survivors. We have hope. The Israeli national anthem is what? Hatikva, the hope. Hope is as built into our DNA as the seeds of survival, which sprout to blossom and carry us through whatever current adversity or enemy threatens to destroy us. We need to call upon that hope, that sense of urgency to survive. We cannot succumb to fear. We cannot succumb to doubt. Yes, we need to be proactive, as the saying goes. God takes care of those who help themselves. We are now on the eve of our highest holy day, and now as the sun has set, we are on that day of atonement. Tonight and tomorrow we must burrow deep within, go into the darkness that pervades our soul, and get out of our minds to eradicate anything that threatens to hold us hostage and keep us from the truth of who we are, what we have done, who we have hurt, what we can accomplish, and uncover whatever is blocking us from the light. The light of significant being, the light of the divine within us, the light that is meant to guide us, to lead us to that place of hope that is our birthright. And it is no accident that on this night of Kol Nidrei, where my sermon is devoted completely to the light, we have been grappling with light. The light is within us, and we must kindle that. If we are meant to be a light unto the nations, then we need to lead with hope in our hearts, our minds, and our soul. When negativity surrounds us and anxiety pervades, we need to remind ourselves that to be leaders of light, we need to stay as close to it as possible. We need to generate it. We need to embody it. That is what we're doing here. This evening, during all of the days of awe, generating light and becoming one with its energizing and renewing power. In order to make restitution and be redeemed, we must make this connection. Gershom Scholem, in his work, Major Trends in Jewish Mysticism, states, certain parts of the process of restitution are allotted to man and woman. I will throw that in. Not all the lights which are held in captivity by the powers of darkness are set free by their own efforts. It is man or woman who adds the final touch to the divine countenance. It is he or she who completes the enthronement of God, the King, our sovereign, and the mystical creator of all things. In his own kingdom of heaven, it is he who perfects the maker of all things. In certain spheres of being, divine and human existence are intertwined. The intrinsic, extra-mundane process of tikkun, symbolically described as the birth of God's personality, corresponds to the process of mundane history. The historical process and its innermost soul, the religious act of the Jew, prepare the way for the final restitution and all scattered and exiled lights and sparks. It is our job. We must access all the light that is available during these days of awe and apply it to elevate ourselves and our world. And as I see, there's so many of you, we've gotten used to wearing white. We wear the white to attract the light. We cannot succumb to darkness or fear. It will be our undoing. When those around you are filled with fear and succumbing to the chaos, be that light. Access it, harness it, share it, illuminate it. And the conversation, the mindset, the perception will shift, not just for us, but for all humanity. It has to start somewhere. Let it be with us. Let us be the enlightened ones able to lead with hope. We can do it. We know how. We've done it. Let our prayers on this Kol Nidrei night, when we remember the vows of our ancestors, not willing to give in to the darkness, and honor their determination to survive at all costs so we could be here. Enable us to not just survive, but to keep faith alive, the spirit of Judaism, God, and our people, so we can all be beacons of light and messengers of hope. Hope. H-O-P-E. H. Handling everything that comes our way with hope. O. Accessing the or, the light of righteousness and tzaddikim. P, crying out to God, panim al panim, face to face, revealing our souls and actions to receive redemption for ourselves and the world. Panim al panim. And E, having emunah, faith that will not falter. Faith in ourselves, faith in each other, faith in our community, faith in Temple Emet, faith in our people, and faith in God. Avinu Malkeinu. There is so much that we are not in control of. Let us take control of what we can. Our minds, our hearts, our souls, and direct them toward the light. Let us bask in it and radiate it out to heal ourselves, our community, and our world. Let this be our mission. Let this be our gift. Let us access and own it because it is our nature, our divinity, our reason for being. We need to stand up for ourselves, fight for what we think is right, even if it is not popular or accepted. We see this in our streets. We see this in the media. It takes many forms. There is a type of COVID craziness that coincides with the anxiety and the fear that pervades when we do not know what the outcome may be. Whether or not the virus will get us, who will live, and who will die. But here again, we are not unfamiliar with this. Our Rosh Hashanah prayer is all about it. Now, more than ever, this is what the pandemic affords us, a real-life look into the harsh truth that we are not in charge. We plead during these Yamim Noraim to be written and sealed for life. Even in our own community that is primarily over the age of 65, it has been mostly the younger ones who have sadly most recently passed. Dwayne Roquet, Judy Yerman, Matt Schwartzer, Susie Abramowitz, Rabbi Gary Spiro, all younger than the median age of our community. When you least expect it, a life will be lost and a life will be spared. We cannot control it. We cannot will it to be otherwise. And this pandemic has proven this. Why does one family lose several to the virus and others none? How does a person who has never left their house, as one 55-year-old I know of, succumb to the virus and die, while others who go to pool parties, social gatherings, violating all of the guidelines, not wearing masks, they live? In some cases, there's absolutely no rhyme or reason. Of all our four services, this is the time we must come down hard on the truth and face the inevitable. In the face of disaster, in the face of unbelievable horror and atrocity as our brethren have endured, most particularly on this night of Kol Nidrei, we need to face facts. We need to surrender to the Almighty, Avinu Malkeinu, and throw ourselves on His mercy for ultimate and complete redemption. The very survival of humanity and our world depends on it. We pray not just for ourselves, but for all mankind around the globe, our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, our friends, and on it goes. Because the playing field has been leveled by this virus. Our political and social norms have been turned upside down so that maybe, just maybe, we will open up our eyes and truly see, and not only listen, but hear that still small voice inside of us, or the glaring noise in our head blasting like the shofar for us to wake up and do things differently. Now, we've always done this at Temple Emet. As a people, as a country, as a society, and a global humanity, we must all arise from our fear and go forward with faith, emunah, and hope. In all aspects of our being, we must reach for that light and we must shine it into all the dark spaces of ourselves that struggle to be positive, that harbors negativity and resentment, fan the fires of fear and feed hate. We need to replace that angst with love, light, and hope. Only then will we be able to heal ourselves, humanity, and our world. God gave us everything that we need, free will to choose. We can choose to hate, choose to destroy, or choose to have faith, fortitude, hope, to fight another day, embrace the light and shine. We must not let our mistakes define us. They are golden opportunities in the path of life. The negative forces would like us to be held back and paralyzed. Kabbalistically, they are put there to help us grow. So let us remember, moments of weakness, fear, or doubt do not define us because we have free will to overcome or lay waste and be victimized, carrying that saber as a recipe for disaster and dismay. We must take control over that which we can. Look at our individual and collective chaos and crisis, recognizing and neutralizing it for ultimate redemption, revelation, and renewal. We must control our personal chaos, ego, vanity, rage, health, physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional. We must protect our well-being, emotional, physical, spiritual, and financial. And then we must look to our world. Look to see what we can do to do our part for the environment, global warming, watching out for political problems and issues in government, war, hunger, trying to put an end to it in our own way, working to balance crises of all kinds. Crises of faith, humanity, homelessness, working to be better at treating others as ourselves, asking for and granting forgiveness. Tackling crisis by undoing all that we've known, destroying or rebuilding, setting the stage for a new decade and a reset of our collective future. We must do this personally and for our global humanity to survive and thrive, figuring it all out and repairing that which is broken, misguided, and then redirecting the energy, redirecting the light. This is our greatest task during these days of awe and beyond. We must control our chaos, harness it, make it work for rather than against us. And as discussed on Rosh Hashanah, and we will again on Simchat Torah, in the beginning, all was tohu vavohu. God took the chaos and turned it into something wonderful, the world. Now, this world as we know it, God saw it and said that this one was very good. It is up to us to maintain it and to keep it that way. The energy is always there for us to draw upon, just as God did for creation. So let's ask ourselves, what is it that we want to create? In the words of the coach for the Seattle Seahawks, and I'm not saying I love that team, I'm just quoting him, or I don't love it, whatever. We must create a culture of winning. We must be consistent, win or lose. We must keep that mindset and culture. On this, the eve of our holiest and highest day of the year, may all of our prayers make us worthy of blessing, those we've done until now and those we have still yet to come. May we merit life in abundance so that we may share it with all. And may we have the courage to face each day and the year ahead with the light of truth and Emet on our side, ensconced in the knowledge that, yes, God is with us. We are not alone. We will survive this as we have other adversities in the past, with hope in our hearts and the light of God guiding us every step of the way. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may we be sealed for goodness. And if you fast, remember, for health, if you can't, that's okay. But if you fast, may it deem us all worthy. Gemar Chatima Tova. Thank you. And so now we are going to heal ourselves and the world with the Misha Barak prayer. And you can find this on page 273. Please think of your loved ones that need a refuah shlema in their physical body, maybe in their spirit. Or we send this prayer out throughout the world to all those who are suffering at this time. Misha Barak Avoteinu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov Misha Barak Imotenu Sarah Rivka Leah Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with a vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Misha Barak Avotenu. Misha Barak Imotenu. Hear our prayers, hear our prayers, hear our prayers, hear our prayers, and bless us as well. Hear our prayers, hear our prayers, hear our prayers, hear our prayers, and bless us as well. May all of our loved ones and those around the world have a healing of spirit and body, a refuah shlema. And now please rise and turn to 116 for the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, l'teikid l'aliyotzer v'reishit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh Barak Hu, shehu noteh shamayim v'yoser haaretz, u'moshav yakaro b'shamayim mima'al, u'shechinat uzo, v'gov hemeromim, hu Eloheinu einod, Emet malkeinu efes ulato, kakatuv beTorrance, v'yadat hayom v'ashevot, el levavecha, ki Adonai, hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim mima'al, ve'aretz, mitachar, einod, v'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, l'melech al kol ha'aretz, b'yom ha'hu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. Please be seated. And so now, if you'll turn to page 121. Let us do the reading on the top. Preparing for the prayer of memory. This holy night concludes with memory. Our last thoughts always are of those we have lost. We miss them especially tonight, yearning for their presence at our side. The service we have shared once was theirs, and they spoke and they sang the ancient words. They prayed, repented, and yearned for better lives as we have done. Flawed in their deeds, imperfect in their faith, they still drew strength from their tradition as we seek fortitude in ours. What was good and beautiful in their lives once gave us joy and now inspires us to reach higher. The knowledge that they loved us deeply brings comfort to our hearts. So we light candles of remembrance and gratitude, and we speak this timeless truth. Zichronam livracha. Their memory is a blessing now and forever. We pray that their goodness will live on in our lives, planting seeds of kindness and hope for generations to come. So our thoughts turn to loved ones whom death has taken from us in recent days, and those who died at this season in years past. Our hearts open as well to the wider circles of loss in our community and throughout the world, wherever grief touches the human family. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing in this new year and always, and most particularly those that passed during this time of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Rabbi Gary Spiro, who was laid to rest last Wednesday, and today I had a funeral for Ron Cantor, and it's wonderful to know that together we can pray as a community, both here, outside, and online, to give honor, kavod, to our loved ones who have passed on. And also we want to do this for all the world, for all those lives that have been lost during this pandemic and for other reasons throughout the world. So please rise if you're able. You may say the names of your loved ones within your own being. See them in your mind's eye and know that they are with you on this journey through this day, this highest day of atonement. And we wish for their lives and their souls and the gift that they've given us, that their memory be for a blessing. I'll raise my hand when I say V'Maru, and if you're not saying the text, you can just say Amen. May it be so that Adonai should be celebrated for the love that we have received in our loved ones as well. Yit Kadal v'Yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach ruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala v'zman kariv V'Maru. Yehei Shemei Rabbah La'elah ul Almei Almaya Yit Barak V'yish Tabak V'yit Pa'ar V'yit Roman V'yit Naseh V'yit Hadar V'yit Alev V'yit Halal Shemei Dekudasha B'richu La'elah ul Elah Minkol Birchata V'shirata Tush Bechata V'nechemata Da'amiran Be'alama V'Maru. Yehei Shalama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'Maru. Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Mromav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel V'Maru. Amen. May God, Avinu Malkeinu, our Father, our King, source of all life, everything seen and unseen, grant our loved ones in the eternal realm peace, and grant to the hearts of those who are grieving at this time, peace to them as well, and peace to all the world, as together we say, Amen. Please be seated. And now we're going to have some announcements from our president, Diana Wolf. Diana, hang on one second. Mark has to turn the camera to you so the people in the live stream can see you.
I brought my own light, but I guess I don't need it.
We have a lot of light here. Let there be light.
Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
I cannot believe we actually managed to have Kol Nidrei in our parking lot. Ruslan, you were magnificent, as usual. I guess I need to talk into this,
Yes.
huh? I'll say it again. Ruslan was magnificent, as
Yes.
usual. You know, nothing stops this guy. Parking lots, COVID, there he is. We appreciate it so much. You know, with so much going on and so many things to watch out for, I am reminded of a line in a song that our dear friend Richie Gilbert and his collaborator Herman Schuchman wrote in their high school musical, Picture a World. If the Vunga doesn't get you, the Vadunga does. Remember that. Thank you so much to Rabbi Cantor Didi. I'll get this yet. Don't worry about it. Thank you, Dan Spector. Thank you, our wonderful musicians, Marianne and Hilda. Thank you all who added their names to our tribute tree in our Yizkor book, memorializing all of our members who have passed since our inception 10 years ago. Thank you, Judy Fradkin, for putting together that beautiful Yizkor booklet, which you will get tomorrow. Now, those of you who will be watching on live stream, If you want to pick up a Yisker book, we will have them in a box right here in front of our building, and you can pick them up, one to a family. If for some reason you cannot pick them up and you want one, let me know, and I will make sure that I personally mail it to you. Thank you, Mark Tannen, for making our live stream YouTube work so many people can do this in cyberspace. This is a challenge. Okay, but we know challenges because we always have them. All right, thanks again to Mark Tannen and Mark Tannen too, yes, Mark Reichert and Elias Resniski and Brian Sprague and Tim Jones for all this setup work today. And what are they going to do tomorrow? They're going to put up the tents. What a job these guys are doing. They are truly irreplaceable. And Mark and Elias even modified that Torah holder since the last time we were here at Rosh Hashanah because it wasn't working quite the way they wanted it to. How can we ever thank you guys? And this is my official time to thank my incredible Board of Trustees for their hard work, their flexibility, and their efforts to keep me sane during this very challenging time. Turning pages, hang in there. So, Yom Kippur Service starts at 11 tomorrow. Again, let us know if you're going to be here in our parking lot so we can set up the number of chairs that we need. Space is limited, so don't forget to RSVP. And please arrive a little bit early so we can do the temperature checks and all that other good stuff. The awnings and tents will be up. Thanks again to Elias and Mark and Brian and Tim so that we don't have to bake in the sun. And thanks to those who provided the tents and easy-ups, Judy and Neil Fradkin, Sue and Duke Jones, and Mira Wolf, so that we can do this. Now, some of you have already responded to our Shana Tova postcard with the Yom Kippur Appeal information on the back of the card, and I thank you. After you hear the appeal tomorrow, you might be inspired to give even more. I'm going to hope so. I never give up. Now, I rewrote that appeal 7 times. Now, as things kept changing, but 7 is the magic number, right? So, you know how much we need your support right now, since we can't have our usual fundraisers. So I'm hoping you'll surprise me with a generous outpouring of support. Well, we'll see. I have to tell you that nothing surprises me anymore, but you have the capacity to surprise me greatly. I really want to be surprised tomorrow. We will gather together to break the fast tomorrow. Well, reservations have been made at Rock and Brews on Palos Verdes Boulevard and PCH for 6:30. We already have over 20 people who are planning to go, but if you want to come, let us know. Of course, it's outside on their patio with distancing and masks required until we actually seated at our table. So stay well, and we'll see each other tomorrow here or on live stream. Use the same link that you used for Rosh Hashanah because we don't know if Shul Cloud will be up and running tomorrow. Gamar Hatima Chova.
Gamar Chatima Tova. And thank you, Diana, for your leadership. We actually have 26 people coming. I've been trying to get a hold of the gentleman at Rock and Brew for 2 days, telling him we've gone from 15 to 26. It is important to note that Lynn Cantor, who soon will be retiring, but she actually retired from her hospice work as a nurse, but she does, fill in at a retirement home. So she texted me today and she goes, I want you to tell everyone the masks work. Every Thursday she gets tested for COVID. And she said, I want you to know, I've been eating the dinners, I've been going to the parking lot, I've been attending the services, and I don't have COVID. So we say, Baruch Hashem. I know that I've been holding my breath for months, hoping that I don't get COVID so I could be here today. So we're all here together, so thank you, God, for that. And we just hope that, our prayers will help hasten an end to all of this. So we're now going to bless one another. Please rise if you're able to with the Birkat Kohanim. Thank you to those who are new to us in live stream and cyberspace, and also those of you that if you've never been here before, please introduce yourselves. We are going to bless one another, and then we'll exit to Hashivenu, so please do so. And if you are going to fast, may it be an easy one, and may we all be blessed for the soul searching that we intend to do for the rest of this time, and for the gift of the opportunity to pray and to be together on not only this Kol Nidrei, but throughout the year. Adonai, at this time we ask you, our Father, our King, our Sovereign, to look upon us with mercy and graciousness and move from that throne of judgment to compassion. Not only us, Am Yisrael, but all the people of the world. Help us to secure our place in history and be able to live and to survive, to pass down the love for Torah or faith or hope to future generations. Be with us on this journey as we continue through Yom Kippur tomorrow. Help us to see the things that we have not yet seen, hear the things that we have not really listened to, and to truly be one with your presence and your essence and your light. Let your light infiltrate our being and help elevate us so that we can connect to our light and be ever more illuminating with all the lives that we touch, with the prayers that we utter from our hearts, our minds, and our souls. Let us be that light you intend for us to be. Let us be the best that we can be. Seal us in the book of life for blessing so that we may be of service for the purpose of sharing. And you can say, I do the prayer, you can say, Kain, Yehi, Ratzon, after each line of Hebrew, which means may it be God's will. And the English is may God be with you, may God's countenance shine upon you, be with you always, and grant you peace. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Gemar Chatima Tova. Hashivenu thanks you once again from the Rabbi Cantor to all of you for participating and uplifting us with your gifts and your light, and to everybody here who has participated, and those of you out there in the world of cyberspace. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha v'nashuva, v'nashuva Chadesh, Chadesh Yameinu kekedem. This side. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha v'nashuva, Chadesh, Chadesh Yameinu kekedem. This side, right, left, center columns. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha v'nashuva. you'd like to leave, just humming as our musicians play, carrying us through this evening. May we have a good, restful sleep, and come here tomorrow dressed lightly in case it is really hot. And once again, as we said, if you need water, please be discreet. Do whatever you need to do for yourselves, because health comes first. Thank you, everyone. Gamar Chatima Tova. Please, thank you to our musicians. Let us feel the warmth and the light and the glow of their spirit and their talent.